What's going on, guys? What's going on, guys? I just want to say happy Monday. Hope everyone's having a blessed day. A wonderful time to be alive. Even though we're going through, the world is going through tough times in other countries and as well as here in the U.S. So I want to say just happy Monday, and it's a good time to be alive. But just want to go through this, the reaction to this letter, the suicide note left by a principal, Chris Christiansen. He left a note before he committed suicide at Disneyland. Just want to give my thoughts on this real quick. It's a sad note. So let's begin. He starts off by saying, "I hate when people leave this earth with so many unanswered questions. So I hope this provides some insight and perspective. This is my wife, Marlena. Yes, you heard me correctly. Most of you don't know this, but we probably married 3.5 years ago." So here Chris begins this suicide note, letting people know that he's married. I guess a lot of people didn't know that he was married. He got married privately. Not sure why. Maybe he's a private guy. A lot of people don't like people in their business. I definitely understand that. You have a lot of people who spew a lot of hate. Have a lot of people who may try to get at your loved ones. As far as like maybe have sex with your wife or have sex with your husband. He wanted to keep his life privately. But he said he got married probably 3.5 years ago. Let's continue. "Marlena and I love and adore each other, and our relationship has been amazing up until recently. Unfortunately, 2 weeks ago, she and I got into a heated argument at home in front of the girls. Tempers were flared and strong words were exchanged between us. However, never then in this exchange did I hit, slap, or hurt Marlena in any manner, nor did I ever touch the girls. I never have and never will. I love the girls like my own, and they know that, as does everyone else who truly knows me." I want to stop right there. I thought the girls were his, but from what he says, that he loved the girls if they were his own. So that goes to, we can infer that the kids weren't his kids. I want to say some guys and girls. Me personally, I will not date anyone, and this is not anyone who has kids. I would not date anyone or I would not marry one who has kids. I'm 38, 37, just turned 38. I don't have any kids right now, but I definitely am going to have kids, and I'm definitely going to get married. But I would not have any relations with someone who has kids, and my rationale is I don't want to have to deal with situations to the point where another man has access to me. And what I mean by that is I have a certain values that I follow. And I don't know the value of a man that hypothetically my wife has had kids with, and the kids go with them and they teach them a totally another set of values and they have to come back and live with me. I don't want to have to deal with that. That's something that I'm going to avoid, and I want to avoid. And another reason why is you've seen a lot of relationships where people in relationships, female and male, is where the female or male doesn't allow the other partner to discipline the kids for the simple fact that that they're not their kids, and that can definitely throw a wrench in the relationships. So that's why I will not do it. We see it all the time, and even kids, when you try to tell them, they may tell you, "Oh, you're not my dad, you're not my mother," and it's just a whole bunch that could come with it. So I'd rather not deal with it. I'm not sure if this gentleman here dealt with that, if Chris dealt with that or not, and maybe, but according to the note, that wasn't it. So it's unfortunate. Prayers to the family and people that were touched by this. Let's continue. "Never did I touch the girls. I never have and never will. I love the girls like my own, and they know that, as does everyone else who truly knows me. Unfortunately, Marlena anger got the best of her that night, and she called the police, which landed me in jail that night." I want to say something, guys. I used to work in the field of law enforcement. I got trained by a couple of law enforcement officers, and what I've learned and what I was taught Anybody who's in a domestic argument, whoever calls the police first wins. I'm going to say that again. I was trained by law enforcement. I'm kind of law enforcement myself right now. Whoever calls the police first wins. Don't tell me why. That's just the way it is. So Marlena called the police first. The police came, and 9 times out of 10, they're going to take the person who called the police first side. They're going to take their side. So unfortunately, he got locked up. He said he didn't hit her. Why he was arrested, I don't know. And I'm going to retract. I know why they arrested him. In domestic, according to law enforcement, in domestic situations, they usually lock the person up who got called on for the simple fact that to de-escalate the situation in case something happens physically. So that's why they lock the person up, because domestic violence, they do not take, law enforcement does not take domestic violence lightly. So that's why they locked Chris up. Just in case Chris would have killed her or anything like that. That's why the police locks up, just if you guys wanted to know. That's what I was taught by a law enforcement officer. So that's why. Let's continue. Unfortunately, Marlena anger got the best of her the night, and she called the police. And I'm gonna say another thing, and this is sad, because a lot of females play this game. They know if they call first that they will lock the male up. It's just the way it is. They know that. And let me tell you something, ladies. If you have a boyfriend, if you have a husband, do not play that game with your husband. I'm gonna repeat. Do not play that game with your husband. Males, do not play that game with your wife. Do not allow other people or the system to get in between your relationship. If it's not getting physical, if it's not getting to that point where you feel like, oh, he's going to do something to you, don't play that game. The only person who might play that game is someone who already has intentions of playing games. So please don't play that game. Let's continue. Unfortunately, Marlena's anger got the best of her that night, and she called the police, which landed me in jail that night. Yes, me, a man who has never hit or harmed anyone in his life. I want to stop right here. Here's this man, Chris. He's a principal at a school. Looks like a well-mannered guy. Probably's never been locked up. And now he's shocked for the first time that over our argument that he's, because he's had, the police has been called over our argument. He's in jail. So here, he's baffled, and he's probably hurt by that. He's never harmed anyone, as he said. Maybe he hasn't. So that definitely be confused, but I don't think Chris understood how law enforcement works. Let's continue. A man who has never harmed anyone in his life. I think it's safe to say that Marlena truly regrets making that call, because the events of that night have completely unraveled both of our lives. Now, he's using very strong words. He's saying that the events have unraveled their lives. So the question is, what was said? And this is what I'm saying, guys. You have to be very, very careful when you come into arguments, because in heated moments, you can say something that you can never get back. I'm not sure who said it, great, our African proverb, but it says that be careful what you say in anger, because it would be the greatest speech that you'll ever regret. I'm just kind of paraphrasing. I don't know who said it. Is it the African proverb or a Greek quote by somebody who says that be careful when you speak in anger, because it will be the greatest speech that you ever regret. And I learned this in my dealings with relationships, of saying things that you regret and then feeling sorry about why did you say that. So be careful, guys. So what Chris is saying here, that some things would probably say that you can't take back. Words hurt. Words are powerful. Words create things. So let's continue. Have completely unraveled both of our lives. I am on the brink of losing my job. I am out on administrative leave until my case is resolved. And this is another thing, ladies and gentlemen, and why I say don't play these games, because you are playing with someone's livelihood. Chris, if I'm not mistaken, was a principal. It's probably in his agreement that he can't get in any trouble with law enforcement. My job, I have a secret clearance. If I get in any trouble, my job, I'm done. I'm done with. So I have to be very careful what I do. So it looks like Chris had a job like that. And the question is, did his wife know that he had that type of job to the point where if he got in any trouble, even if it wasn't like or locked up, it doesn't, you could just get locked up. Did she know that? Not saying that she did, but a lot of people play that game. And this is why we have to be careful who we choose to be our partners, guys. This is why we have to be careful who we choose to be our partners, ladies. Because you have people who get angry who will play these games. Not saying she did, but just in other relationships. So now this man who committed suicide has lost his job. You don't know what he was going through, what he was trying to say, what he was trying to do. He was trying to provide for his family. You just don't know. Be careful, guys. Be careful. Let's continue. I'm on the brink of losing my job as I'm out on administrative leave until my case is resolved. However, the legal system is extremely flawed, especially against men, fathers, and it's sickening how quickly and easily an innocent man can be thrown in jail based on zero evidence or proof. And I'm going to go back to what I said earlier, and Chris is definitely 100% correct. Like I said, I was trained by law enforcement. My job is partly law enforcement. Whoever calls the police first wins. That's just the way the system is. And yes, it does need to be changed. It definitely needs to be changed. But like I said, whoever calls the police first wins. And the reason why they lock Chris up 90% is because in domestic violence cases, they do not leave one person there because just in case someone gets killed. That's why they lock Chris up. And according to Chris, he probably didn't know that because he doesn't have a law enforcement background. And now he's in jeopardy of losing his job because the domestic violence is something that people take serious. Even when you fill out job applications, that's like one of the questions. So my heart goes out to Chris' family. My heart goes out to Marlene. My heart goes out to the daughters. It's just unfortunate, but that's why you have to be careful, guys. Be careful. Be careful who you choose to be your partner. Let's continue. Especially against men, fathers, and it's sickening how quickly and easily an innocent man can be thrown in jail based on zero evidence or proof. In fact, take a look at that tat screenshot of Marlene's message to my friend about the matter. So, wow. I don't have the screenshot here, but we have to ask, the screenshot to Chris's friend, was it a guy? Was it a girl? So she's texting Chris' friend. I don't have the screenshot, guys. I apologize. I'm gonna do some more research after this and see if we can break this thing down. Let's continue. She too had no intention on having that night come this far. She knows I would never hurt her or the girl, and she too has been trying to clear my name with little success. Again, the legal system is deeply flawed, to say the least. So here he's saying that Marlene has tried to clear his name, but it's too late. The system, that's just the way the system is. And it's unfortunate, but the system works. It goes against men. Domestic violence is something that they take seriously. And unfortunately, someone reaped the negativity when it comes to this system. Let's continue. So here I am writing my final Facebook post to all of you. I need all of you to know that a gentle, kind, loving, and sincerely good man has been destroyed by one unfortunate night. And that's all it takes, guys. Just one time. Like I said, my job that I do have a secret clearance, if I just get locked up or just on an innocent, just go to one time. I'm through. I'm done. Like, you have to literally be perfect. So I think Chris was a principal. His job requirements were for him to stay out of trouble, and unfortunately got argument with his wife, and it's unfortunate it had to be his wife, someone that you care, someone that you love, someone that you would probably die for, who got you in this position. He said that it was argument. I mean, people argue. People argue on the time. Do police need to be called? I don't know. And this is another thing. Women play these games to the point where they call the police. It's like this is something that's been pushed through the media. Like, you don't have to call the police. Like, if it's not getting physical arguments, and people argue, It's this is something that's been pushed. Like, oh, I'm afraid. Let's call the police on the man. Like, and it's this is what it comes. And that's when I say, guys and girls, know your partner. Know your partner. Know your partner. Let's continue. So here I'm writing this, my final Facebook post to all of you. I need all you to know that a gentle, kind, loving, and sincere good man has been destroyed by one unfortunate night. It really is unfortunate. This is not me. This is not something I ever thought would happen to me. With all this said, I have truly loved educating and leading thousands of students and families as a principal in FESD for the past 21 years. So, like I said, he's a principal. He works with kids. That's something truly admirable. I used to work with kids in the school system. So he was a principal for 21 plus years. So for him to be some for 20 plus years, obviously he was good at his job, close to retirement. And one unfortunate night, and it only takes one time, guys. One time, guys. And his life was ruined. Let's continue. I have made so many wonderful connections with families over the years, and those who know me closely know how much I care for my students, staff, and families. Please remember me for all the good I brought to the world of education. It's actually hurting a little bit. Because like I said, I used to work with the school system, and I understand how fulfilling it can be to help a kid to just have a kid come to you and hug you and smile at you in the morning. I know that feeling. And it's unfortunate that this one incident changed the trajectory of his life forever to the point where he committed suicide. The kids that he made a connection with is going to be hurt. The families, like he said, the teachers, colleagues. It's just unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Let's continue. To all my musician friends, thank you. Thank you for performing with me over the past 30 years. We have had a blast performing all over and creating so much memories together. Music has been a wonderful outlet for me, as it allowed me to have a different and creative world outside of my day job as a principal. I am so sad to say that the last night was my final performance. However, it went very well, and I am proud that my final performance was a success. I have always loved performing, especially during the holiday season. I am going to miss it dearly. And it's unfortunately, it's Christmas is right around the corner, and that's what makes it even harder, to read. It's unfortunate to the point where this incident, affected his job, his livelihood, and he just didn't want to go on, and he took his own life. He worked with 21 years. That's a long time, guys. 21 years is a long time, guys. It's a long time. It's a long time. So let's continue. There's so much more I want to say, but I'm going to spend the rest of my day reaching out to those closest to me to let them know how much I love them. So here, he didn't commit suicide right away. It was premeditated. He reached out to people that he loved. He probably didn't tell them what he was going to do, but he left remnants of what he was going to do, but people didn't know that he was actually going to kill himself. He reached out to people and he let people know he loved them in his last moments. Let's continue. There's so much I want to say, but I'm going to spend the rest of my day reaching out to those closest to me to let them know how much I love them. This is not an ideal way to go out, but at least I get a chance to say some final words to those who I love and adore. Take care, everyone. Please, please, please be kind to one another. This is not the first time he's used the word kind. It seems like this guy Chris was a kind, gentle-hearted person. And he could never believe that he could be treated that way because he would never treat anyone that way. And I just want to give you guys a lesson. Don't expect people to be you. Don't expect it to be another you. You can be the most nicest, kindest, kind-hearted person in the world and then get treated like crap. Don't expect people to treat you how you would treat them, guys, because that is an illusion. I mean, it could go well up for 20 years, and then one day, boom, you get hit with a rude awakening. We do not live the world we live in, and we do not live. We pray that everyone is good, but everyone is not good. We don't live in a perfect world. People are not perfect. We all make mistakes. So don't ever think that people can't treat you that way, guys. Don't fall for that illusion. Be prepared. Hope for the best, but know that people will treat you wrong. Bad stuff will happen to you when you're innocent. Believe that. Let's continue. Take care, everyone. Please, please, please be kind to one another. Treat each other with kindness and grace. There is too much anger in the world, and people need to start treating each other better. What I've shared with you above is a prime example how anger can really have long-lasting and extremely damaging effects on a person's life. Wow. Rest in peace to Chris Christensen. And he's right. Anger. Like I said, the quote says, be careful what you say in anger, because it'll be the greatest speech that you'll ever regret. Unfortunately, it came, the harm came from someone who he loved and who loved him. And they both tried to get themselves out of the situation, but it took a hold to the point where it didn't help. This man didn't want to go on. He committed suicide. He was on the brink of losing his job. So take heart, guys. Take heart. Choose wisely who you choose to be your partner. And when you argue, guys, it's the system doesn't need to get in your business every time. If it's not to the point where someone put their hands on you, people argue all the time. I mean, you argue with your kids. If you feel, I guess if you feel threatened anyway, I guess that's all subjective. If you feel threatened, well, you want to call the police, but sometimes it does not that serious. And I think sometimes we feel like we may want to have the upper hand, and we feel like the police can get involved, and that we feel better that we won. And sometimes it doesn't end well. It doesn't end well because both people can end up hurting. Subscribe, guys. Hit that like button. Stay blessed, and let's love one another. Peace out.